I went on eBay a long time ago and found all these like 99-cent project booklets from 1973, 73. That was a mistake. The Forrest Mimm's handbooks, but even his first booklets that he made for Radio Shack. He made these. This is the third one, 1975. But the first one, I think this is the first one he ever did. $1.25 from Tandy Co. Back when transistors looked like this, and I guess this is what circuit boards looked like. This one came out 1974. So those other ones, they were older. But it's kind of funny because they talk about like all these like optoelectronics is going to be amazing stuff. But anyway, in here, this one, we have actually I want to do that one, but this is the Avalanche Transistor Pulse Generator, which was pretty cool. It's this right here. Take a screenshot of that if you're interested in making it. The pulse comes out right here, but there's a sawtooth that comes out between the top of the collector and the top of the load. But it's a pulse generator that works using the avalanche region of a transistor. So, avalanche region transistor pulse generator makes a sawtooth and then like a pulse that is the shape of a discharging capacitor. So you have a capacitor that's being charged to a high voltage using a ceramic disc like this. They can get up to 500 volts, and that's 10 nanofarads. And so that charges, and then you have a switch, and you want that charge to go into your load. I guess that'd be kind of like a switch mode power supply, like really archaic. And you can use the transistor as a switch, but instead of having to come up with some weird comparator or some sort of op-amp circuit, you use the voltage on the capacitor. It charges up large enough that it makes the transistor switch on and conduct by making it go into its avalanche region, which happens use transistor as switch, except conducting happens between collector to emitter by making collector voltage less emitter voltage, which is ground here, exceeding the maximum collector to emitter voltage, triggering the avalanche region made in an NPN silicon BJT. So this is the circuit I have right there. I put an LED just because I fucking love LEDs, why not? In between these two nodes, you get a sawtooth, and the pulse actually corresponds to that. But the capacitor charges, and that's how you get the collector voltage to exceed the emitter voltage, is because the capacitor's charging to this 60 volts that I got right there. And what's basically happening is you have your NPN transistor, if you think of it like two diodes, and you're basically going into the avalanche region of a reversed biased diode of the collector base junction, which only happens when the collector emitter voltage exceeds the max collector emitter voltage. And it's true. So this is it. I took out that's a lot smaller than this guy, but I'll show you why I did that. But this is the oh, I just pulled it out. Oh man, this is gonna be difficult with doing one hand. There we go. I did have it for a second. There we go. Okay. Whew. At 60 volts and running it through the dual supply, you get a sawtooth. And this one actually, it kind of goes at the top, but this is what happens when you change the voltage. Just down to 52. So that's 27.5 times 2 is 55, and you get nothing because it's not in the avalanche region. But right when you do that, boom, gets in the avalanche region. And if you want to put this in parallel with it, I'm just going to tap it against there. You can see that it actually affects. That's what happens when you change the capacitor. I'm just tapping this 10 nanofarad one in parallel. And then to get the pulse, get that. And then getting rid of when it's not an avalanche region, and it's avalanche region. Anyway, pulse generator. using the avalanche region of a transistor. Neat.